Hello, dreamer of unseen worlds. Before we begin, take a breath. Not just a shallow one, but deep, intentional. Let the world pause. In this moment, you are not merely reading. You are entering a conversation with something older than time, yet intimately woven into the rhythm of your life. This is not a lesson. It is a remembering. I used to believe manifestation was a game of effort, that if I could visualize hard enough, repeat affirmations with military discipline, or meditate until my body dissolved, then, maybe then, the universe would reward me with what I desired. But the more I tried, the further my dreams seemed to drift, as if effort itself was pushing them away. Something was wrong. Not with me, but with the rules I was playing by. And then one night, as I sat alone on my balcony staring into a starlit sky, a different truth whispered through me. Not in words, but in sensation. A realization. I wasn't here to chase reality. I was here to collapse into it. Part 1. The Remembering. Welcome, dear soul, to the path of quantum manifestation. Not the kind sold in glossy books or shouted in endless YouTube videos. This is something quieter, more ancient, more precise. You see, you are not standing outside your dream, knocking on the gates of fate. You are inside the quantum field right now, a vast ocean of infinite timelines, each vibrating with a different version of your life. The love you long for, it's there. The success, the freedom, the healing, all of it exists already as possibilities waiting to be observed. But they don't appear because you want them badly enough. They appear when you match them. And that, my friend, is the paradox. We are taught to want. But in the quantum world, wanting is a signal of separation, of lack. The more you want, the more the field reflects back to you the vibration of not having. But here's what no one told you. You don't manifest by chasing. You manifest by becoming. Not a better version of yourself. Not a worthy version. But the version who already lives the reality you desire and sends out that signal with such coherence, the field cannot help but mirror it back. How do you become that version? We'll go there soon. But first, we need to unlearn. Part 2. The signal behind the words. I didn't know then what I know now. That the quantum field, the invisible web in which we live and breathe, does not respond to ambition. It does not respond to hunger or desperation. It responds only to coherence. Let me explain. Coherence is not positivity. It is not pretending to feel good when you're crumbling inside. It is not posting mantras while your heart races with anxiety. Coherence is something deeper, something cellular. It's when your thoughts, emotions, body, and energy speak the same language. When there is no static, no contradiction, no internal war between what you say you want and what you actually believe is possible. You can scream "I am abundant" into the mirror 1,000 times, but if your nervous system is vibrating in scarcity, if your breath is shallow, if your muscles are clenched with financial dread, the quantum field hears the fear, not the words. And it always listens to the signal underneath the words. That's what broke the spell for me. The realization that the universe is not judging me, it's mirroring me. Not to punish, but to reflect what I'm broadcasting, clearly, consistently, unapologetically. You see, manifestation isn't magic. It's not ask and get. It's resonance. Your life right now is not a mistake. It's a match to the frequency you're tuned to. Not what you're thinking occasionally, but what you are consistently being. That's hard to hear. It was hard for me, because I had to stop blaming. I had to stop looking outward. I had to stop waiting for something outside of me to change my life. Instead, I had to ask, what frequency am I living in? Am I embodying love, or waiting for someone to bring it? Am I embodying abundance, or am I quietly checking my bank account every 2 hours, hoping it will change before I allow myself to feel secure? Am I embodying peace, or am I still addicted to chaos because it feels familiar? This was my reckoning. The point where I could no longer pretend that wishing was enough, that vision boards alone could bend reality, that affirmations spoken through gritted teeth were keys to a magical door. No, the real shift began when I let go of performance and stepped into presence. Part 3. The Subconscious Mirror. Let me tell you a secret the universe has always known. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And that distinction changes everything. Wanting is not a problem. It's human to want. But when your desire is laced with desperation, with lack, with the subtle belief that I'm not whole until I get this, you create a signal of separation. The quantum field does not hear your words. It hears your wholeness or your fracture. And your subconscious? It is the truest voice in this entire conversation. While your conscious mind dreams of wealth, your subconscious may still be replaying old scripts. I never have enough. I'm not worthy. Money is dangerous. Success means I'll be alone. These hidden frequencies run 24/7, quietly shaping the wave you send out. And the quantum field, unbiased, unjudging, precise, collapses reality according to the signal it receives. This is why so many people struggle. They affirm, they visualize, they act, but still feel stuck. Because while they've changed the wallpaper of their conscious mind, the foundations of their subconscious remain untouched. It's like painting over a cracked wall without repairing the structure underneath. The universe doesn't respond to how hard you work. It responds to how aligned you are. And alignment doesn't begin in the mind, it begins in the body. Because the body remembers what the mind tries to forget. It remembers trauma, it remembers shame, it remembers rejection, scarcity, grief. You may tell yourself, I am ready for love, but if your heart is armored from years of pain, if your nervous system flinches at intimacy, if your breath quickens every time someone gets close, you're not broadcasting readiness, you're broadcasting fear. This isn't a flaw, it's a pattern. And patterns can be rewritten. But first, they must be seen, not judged, not silenced, not bypassed with positive thinking. Seen, honored, integrated. The body must feel safe again before the field can shift. So before you try to manifest more, ask yourself this: does my system feel safe having it? Because if not, it will reject what it claims to want. Not out of sabotage, but survival. Part 4, the power of subtle becoming. So how do we change the signal? Not just in our thoughts, but in our cells, in the very rhythm of how we breathe, walk, speak, and live. It begins not with effort, but with awareness. You see, manifestation isn't about doing more. It's about becoming more coherent, more aligned, more truthful with what your body, heart, and energy are actually saying. And to do that, we start small, subtle, embodied. Because here's a truth I had to learn the hard way. The quantum field doesn't respond to perfection. It responds to presence, not fake calm, not spiritual bypassing, but honest, grounded, lived-in presence. So I began to listen, not to the noise in my mind, but to the music of my body. When anxiety rose, I placed a hand on my chest and whispered, "You are safe." When doubt crept in, I breathed deep and asked, what would the version of me who already has this choose right now? And then I let her lead. That version of me, the one already living inside the timeline of joy, love, abundance, and trust, she became my compass. Not a fantasy, but a frequency. Not a destination, but a vibration I could embody now. And something strange began to happen. The more I tuned into that version, the more reality began to shift around me. Not because I was forcing, but because I had become magnetic. Not to everything, but to what matched. Because when your internal state aligns with the timeline you desire, the field collapses that possibility into form. You don't chase, you attract, you don't demand, you radiate. You become the tuning fork, and the world begins to play your song. Part 5, the return to coherence. Let's get real now. You will wobble, you will doubt. You will have days when you feel small, scared, uncertain, when your body contracts and your mind floods with stories that don't belong to the version of you you're becoming. And that's okay, because the point isn't to never fall. The point is to notice and return. This is what separates the dreamers from the creators, the ones who wait from the ones who become. It's not how often you slip that matters, it's how quickly you remember. I had to learn this slowly. I used to spiral every time I slipped out of alignment. I'd think, there goes my manifestation. I'd judge myself harshly, punish myself emotionally, believing I had to be high vibe all the time or the universe would forget me. But the universe doesn't forget. It doesn't need your perfection. It needs your presence. So now when I wobble, I don't panic. I breathe. I say, a pattern, a wave, a chance to regulate, not react. I don't make it mean I'm broken. I don't make it mean I'm starting over. I simply recognize that the field is alive and I'm dancing with it, not controlling it. You see, alignment is not a destination. It's a daily choice, a practice, one breath, one action, one pause at a time. Every morning now, before I check my phone or open my emails, I ask myself, what frequency am I tuning into today? Is it fear or trust, lack or abundance, control or surrender? And I listen, not with judgment, but with curiosity, because noticing is power. Awareness collapses resistance, and when resistance softens, the signal clears, the field responds, and life flows. Part 6, the field around you. Let's talk about something most people overlook, something that changed everything for me. Environment. You see, we've been told that manifestation is an internal job, and yes, that's mostly true. But what no one tells you is this: your environment speaks to your nervous system even when you're not listening. You could be doing all the right things, meditating, visualizing, breathing through the resistance. But if your daily environment is vibrating with chaos, scarcity, or disconnection, you will absorb that frequency. We are social, energetic beings. We co-regulate. Your vibration is not created in a vacuum. That means your timeline isn't just shaped by what you believe, it's shaped by what you surround yourself with. I had to learn this through heartbreak. I outgrew relationships that no longer resonated with the self I was becoming. I let go of conversations that pulled me back into victimhood. I chose silence over noise, stillness over drama, authenticity over fitting in. And little by little, something shifted. The more I curated my field, the clearer my signal became. I stopped explaining myself to people who didn't speak the language of alignment. I stopped negotiating with energy that felt off. Instead, I began to tune into the subtle whispers. How do I feel around this person? What version of me do they amplify? Because that matters. It matters more than you've been told. If you're trying to tune into love while drowning in criticism, if you're trying to embody trust while surrounded by fear, you're fighting the current, and you don't need to fight anymore. You just need to remember, the field is always responding. So choose to fill your field with what reflects your chosen timeline. Books that anchor your belief, music that lifts your vibration, spaces that feel like home in your nervous system, people who mirror your soul, not your survival patterns. This is how you stabilize the frequency. Not by controlling everything, but by consciously curating what you allow into your field. Part 7. The present breaks the past. The past does not create your future. Let me say that again, because the mind often forgets. The past does not create your future. Your relationship to the past does. You see, the quantum field is not linear. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't calculate based on how long you've suffered or how many times you've failed. It responds to what you are now, right now. The problem is, most people aren't living in the present. They're living in a memory, a frequency, a loop that plays quietly under their breath. This always happens to me. Nothing ever changes. I never get what I want. And the quantum field listens, not to your words, but to your dominant signal. That signal is your state, and your state is a choice. Not a choice you make once and forget, but a choice you make moment by moment. In traffic, in silence, in uncertainty, in the middle of the ache. That's the power no one teaches. That every time you feel the old loop pulling you back, and you pause, breathe, choose differently, you shift timelines. You collapse a new possibility into form. You don't have to heal everything before you live the life you desire. You just have to stop repeating the vibration that keeps you from it. You are not the past. You are not even your patterns. You are the awareness watching them. And awareness is the only thing that can rewrite the code. When you become aware, truly aware of your energetic default, you reclaim the power to choose something new. That's the quantum key. Not force, not control, but choice and presence. So next time you find yourself reacting from the old self, ask, what if this moment is my portal to a new timeline? What would I choose if I wasn't afraid? What would love do here? And then do that, not to impress the universe, but to become a clearer signal. Because your future doesn't need to be summoned. It's already here, waiting for you to align. Part 8, the embodied frequency. Let's talk about embodiment. Because without it, everything else is just theory, pretty words, inspiring ideas, but not transformation. Embodiment is where manifestation becomes real. Not because you're trying harder, but because your entire system begins to resonate with the new timeline. You stop trying to believe. You start walking, talking, breathing as if it's already done. This isn't delusion. This is alignment. Alignment with the version of you who already knows without question that the field is listening. So what does embodiment look like? It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it's subtle, consistent, internal. It's how you choose your thoughts when no one is watching, how you treat your body when you're tired, how you speak about your dreams in rooms that don't yet understand them. It's paying attention to the micro moments. Do you shrink or expand when opportunity knocks? Do you chase validation or offer value? Do you rush from fear or move from grounded intent? Because here's the secret. The quantum doesn't care about your rituals. It mirrors your vibration. So if you're embodying fear while chanting about abundance, you're broadcasting scarcity. If you're rushing around trying to prove yourself, you're vibrating with doubt. But if you breathe, slow down, listen inward, move with presence, your body becomes a tuning fork. Your presence becomes your power. You become the living proof of your timeline, and the field responds accordingly. This is the moment when manifestation stops being a practice and becomes your natural state of being. Part 9, the living conversation. Here's something you might not have been told. The quantum field doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you signal. And that signal is being sent every moment, not just in ceremony, but in the mundane, which means your entire life is a conversation. Every breath, every posture, every word you speak to yourself is a message you're broadcasting into the infinite. The question is, what are you saying? When you wake up and check your phone before you breathe, what does that signal? When you say yes while your body says no, what timeline are you aligning with? When you criticize yourself in the mirror, even playfully, what world are you energizing? You see, the smallest acts shape the signal. The field isn't dramatic, it's precise. It mirrors your vibration with stunning accuracy. This isn't to make you paranoid, it's to empower you. Because if you've been unconsciously broadcasting chaos, fear, lack, you now have the awareness to choose differently. You are not being tested, you are being mirrored, and every moment is a chance to adjust the dial. So what does that look like in practice? It looks like choosing nourishment over numbing. It looks like pausing before reacting. It looks like surrounding yourself with reminders of the life you are calling in. Not because these acts cause your desires to arrive, but because they tune you to the frequency of already having. That's the nuance. You don't create from lack, you align from fullness. So if you want to communicate clearly with the field, don't beg it, don't bargain. Just become so steady in your vibration, so embodied in your signal, that the universe can't help but respond. This is what co-creation truly means. Not asking life to give you something, but living as though you already are the life you long for, and letting the world rise to meet you there. Part 10, the source within. What if I told you, you are not standing outside the quantum field, trying to master it? You are not a visitor in the realm of possibility. You are not a separate self sending signals into some distant fabric of reality. You are the field. You are the vibration. You are the frequency. You are the wave and the collapse. The moment you understand this, not just mentally, but viscerally, you stop asking for signs. Because you realize you are the sign. You stop chasing miracles. Because you remember you are the miracle. You stop fearing delay because you know that time is not linear here. It's fluid, and the future bends to your embodiment, not your calendar. You see, most teachings treat the universe as other, as a source outside of you, something to convince, impress, or unlock. But what if the universe is not something you speak to, but something you are constantly shaping from within? Every breath is a creation. Every thought is a brushstroke on the quantum canvas. Every emotional vibration is a seed dropped into timeless soil. And the harvest? It comes not when you want it, but when your signal matches it fully. So the question is no longer, how do I get there? The question becomes, how deeply can I live from the knowing that I already am? This is not positive thinking. This is sacred embodiment, the kind that makes you walk differently. Speak intentionally, love courageously, choose powerfully. You are no longer playing a game, you are writing the code. And that shift, from seeker to source, changes every timeline. Part 11, the choice that echoes. So here we are. You've walked through the paradoxes. You've felt the tremble of truth in your breath. You've remembered that the field doesn't respond to your force, but to your frequency. And now you stand not as someone who is waiting, but as someone who remembers. Remembering that you are not here to master manifestation like a trick, but to embody it as your nature. You are not here to chase light. You are here to become it. And even in your darkest hours, especially in them, you are still shaping waves, still sculpting timelines, still birthing new realities through presence alone. The field isn't asking for your perfection. It's asking for your coherence, not your hustle, your harmony, not your performance, your embodiment. So let's bring this home. You don't need more proof. You don't need more steps. You need presence. You need breath. You need the stillness that reminds your cells that the miracle is not coming. It's here, and it's you. So as you move forward, don't try to manifest. Live as the manifestation. Let your body lead. Let your heart whisper. Let your awareness choose again and again and again, until choosing alignment becomes who you are. And let this be the question that echoes in the silence after this page ends. What timeline am I feeding with my being? And if the answer doesn't reflect your truth, then pause and choose again. Because the quantum is listening, because life is listening, because you are listening.